The pressure is on at Canada Post after 6 straight years of losing money. Experts say it's clear something has to change to make the Crown Corporation stop bleeding. The CEO is now floating the idea of moving to delivery 7 days a week to better compete with other couriers. CTV's Laurence Bresson-de reports.
Canada Post is at a tipping point, and it has been for some time, says economics professor Moshe Lender.
Those losses now run into the billions of dollars every single year.
The Postal Service lost $748 million last year and has been reporting losses since 2018. In the last 6 years, its deficits have totaled $3 billion. Its sizable network of mail couriers servicing the whole country is just one factor bringing down the Crown Corporation, says Lender.
They now face competition. In the 20th century, UPS and Purolator and Canpar, FedEx, they weren't really, first of all, they didn't necessarily exist in Canada. And even if they existed, they weren't necessarily trusted the way the Canada Post was.
He also points to the declining mail volumes as another sore spot, especially as Canadians increasingly pivot to online mail delivery, including these Montrealers.
It's easier, more direct.
Most of the stuff comes electronically now.
This week, Canada Post's board chair, André Hudon, said significant changes urgently needed to keep the organization afloat. Some experts believe it doesn't help that the organization is the only competitor in the industry that doesn't offer weekend delivery. The Crown Corporation CEO, Doug Ettinger, said this week that they are considering moving to a 7-day-a-week delivery model, a move Lender argues against.
The idea of expanding service, it's not like it's going to create more mail. This is exactly the wrong direction for any company that's trying to survive.
Canada Post declined our request for an interview, citing it won't comment on the topic as negotiations with the Canadian Union of Postal Workers continue. CTV reached out to the union but did not hear back in time for this broadcast. While Canada Post says it's looking at creating more flexibility in its delivery model, Lender says it might be time to consider shutting down.
While that would be a really awkward sort of discussion to have, and we would talk about the Postal Workers Union and job losses, but the fact is that when you're running up billions of dollars of losses and the government is running billions of dollars in deficit every year, it's not going to solve their budgetary problems.
But not everyone is ready to admit defeat yet.
The Canada Post has been around for a long time and they're still a good service.
I definitely think that there's work to be done in terms of staying competitive, but I wouldn't want to single this one service out.
Canada Post went from delivering 5.5 billion letters annually 2 decades ago to about 2 billion today.